It was the best of times. It was the best of times. Okay, everybody, today we're going to take a look back at the greatest year in all of motion pictures, 1982. When you look at it from top to bottom, from left to right, you will see that no other year in the history of motion pictures will equal this year. What brings this up was just the other night I was watching Conan the Barbarian with my son, telling him about the glory and the magnificence of 1982. And when we got rolling through all the films, even he was like, my God, that was the year. And after that, just for fun, we went on YouTube and looked up Siskel and Ebert's reviews of the best movies of 1982. They each picked 10, and what blew our minds was there was nothing good on the list. I'm dead serious. It was like Sophie's Choice and 10 other movies, or 9 other movies, you just didn't give a shit about. It was amazing. I couldn't believe it. So I said to myself, I'm going to go out. I'm going to make a list of the best movies of 1982, in my own humble opinion, and show them to all of you. But there's too many to pick from. There's too many I didn't want to leave out. So what we're going to do is we're going to do it by 5 categories. We're going to do horror. We're going to do comedy. We're going to do action. We're going to do drama. And then we're going to do science fiction. So you'll get some of the best of all the best. Top 5 in each category. Away we go. All right, we're going to start off with the incredible subject of science fiction, and that's where 1982 is probably the best at. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it goes. We're going to go down the list. Here we go. Number 1, could be number 1. Yeah, it's number 1, whatever the hell it is the almighty Blade Runner. Let's face it, folks. Harrison Ford, Rutger Hauer, Ridley Scott, they gave you one of the greatest motion pictures of all time. Often imitated, never duplicated. It's the way it goes. After that, you got the amazing Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, one of my desert island flicks. If I couldn't have any other thing, I would have this. I love this motion picture. It's perfection. It's one of the all-time greats. It's simply the way it goes. You also have Tron. My God, you remember the sci-fi computer graphics bonanza that motion picture was. If you ever get a chance, you got to see it. It's just the way it is. Of course, we got to throw in E.T. Yes, it got rammed down our throats. Yes, it was just a little bit too cheesy. But it was what it was, and it's the way it goes. Also, in the last spot of movies I think you have to see, I'm going to always throw in my last spot something that might not quite jump out at you or might not quite fit, but it's something that you should all check out. And for that, I'm going to give you Endangered Species. You remember that little movie with Robert Urich and the hot mom from Poltergeist? Anyway, good little movie, solid little movie, and it talks about UFO, cow abductions, and all that kind of stuff. But is it really that? I'm not going to ruin it for you. Either way, it's the way it goes. And of course, there was some great movies that year. We're talking, you had things like, Swamp Thing and The Dark Crystal. There was all kinds of other great science fiction movies, but these are the ones I can give you for now. Let's keep moving. Oh, God. We're going into action, folks. Here we go. Coming in, number 1, you got to know it. You got to love it. The almighty First Blood. Yes, the first Rambo flick on the scene. The best Rambo flick on the scene. It's the original. It's the one that means the most. You know it. You love it. It's just the way it goes. Coming in, after that, we got the almighty Rocky Balboa, number 3. That's right. Him, Mr. T, the whole crew. Great, phenomenal. Love that Rocky movie. It's just the way it is. Right after that, we're talking about Conan the Barbarian, which I've reviewed. And I just watched the other night with my son. Come on. Arnold, Sandel Bergman, Mako, enough said. Swords, blood, tits. It's everything that you could ever want to see. Following that, Firefox, a movie that completely gets overlooked. I don't know how it happens. We're talking Clint Eastwood has to go into the Soviet Union and steal their biggest, baddest jet. Firefox should not be overlooked. Firefox should not be forgotten. Just the way it is. Go check it out. And coming into my number 5th spot, let's get right down to brass taxes. We're talking Norris in it here. We're talking Silent Rage. It was a little sci-fi, actually. It was a little bit of action, but it was what it was, and we all enjoyed it. And of course, there was other motion pictures that were out there at this time. We're talking Chuck Norris again, Enforced Vengeance. We're talking Vice Squad. We're talking motion pictures like The Sword and the Sorcerer, and who could ever forget the freaking Beastmaster? So, action alone in 1982 was amazing from me to you. Okay, now we're going into the world of comedy. Let's talk about it, folks. There was some great shit in 1982. Let's do this. First off, we're going to give you 48 Hours. You know I reviewed it. You know it's the way it is. It's the way it goes. Nick Nolte, Eddie Murphy, perfection. Night Shift, one of the great all-time unsung comedies ever. The Winkler was amazing in it. It's just the way it goes. Watch it. Who can forget the almighty Porky's? I mean, come on. People don't talk about it enough anymore, but at the time, it was just amazing. And by the way, my mother was working as a hostess in a restaurant at the time, and somebody did the Can You Page Mike Hunt thing to her, and she did it all over this giant steakhouse. How fucking funny is that? Moving on, we're talking about Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You gotta see it. It's part of the lexicon of America. It is what it is. And coming in last, my little bit of an oddball movie that sometimes people don't remember, The Toy with Richard Pryor. Come on, everybody. Everybody remembers that. A guy gets hired literally to be a human toy for a rich guy's kid. It was funny. It's Richard Pryor. You gotta love it. It's just the way it goes. And there was a bunch of other really cool shit that year in the comedy reign. I mean, it goes on and it goes on. We're talking about things like They Call Me Bruce, and Airplane 2, and The Last American Virgin, and Tootsie, and Things Are Tougher All Over with Cheech and Chong, and Losing It, and Eating Raoul, and Jekyll and Hyde Together Again. Come on, people don't even remember that fucking movie, and it was awesome. Horror. Oh, what a year for horror. This isn't even funny. This isn't even funny. Kicking it off. First spot we're going to give up to John Carpenter's The Thing. This thing is perfection. It's, you know it is. I don't even have to explain it anymore. Everybody knows about The Thing. Everybody knows it's the greatest fucking horror movie of all time. It is what it is. After that, we're going to go into a little bit of Poltergeist. Yep. It was kind of a family horror movie, but it doesn't mean shit. It was great. We all loved it. We all had fun. Coming up next, we have a little Cat People. Natasha Kinski, Malcolm McDowell. Excellent soundtrack. Excellent movie. It is what it was. After that, another motion picture that really doesn't get talked about that much, but I'm going to review it at some point or another, and that is The Entity. Oh my God. It was disturbing. It was harsh. It was cool, but some of the scenes in it were just absolutely fucking frightening, and it's just the way it goes. And coming in my last spot, yes, I don't know how real horror it is, but we all remember it. Creepshow. I reviewed it already. That motion picture is cool. It's fun. It's a little scary. It is what it is. We all knew it. We all loved it. And there was also some other cool horror that year. Horror. We're talking about stuff like The Beast Within. We're talking about Basket Case and Slumber Party Massacre and Extro and The New York Ripper and Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. I know Michael Myers was in it. It doesn't make a difference. That movie was fun. It was cool. It was its own thing. And if you didn't love it then, you should love it now. Finally, dramas. And I'm going to give you these 5. They don't even have to really be in any kind of order. None of my other stuff really needed to be either too. It doesn't have to be first, second, third, whatever. It's just the top 5. And that's what I'm going to give you here. So, top 5 dramas I think you should check out from 1982. First off, we're going to look into a little, I hate to say it, a chick flick. My wife loves it. It ain't a bad movie. An Officer and a Gentleman. I think you should check it out. It's not that bad. It's enjoyable. It is what it is. Next, I would say you got to go look at The World According to Garp. It was a cute little flick, a fun flick for its time. Everybody liked it. Was what it was. Then you got Diner. The fucking cast alone should boggle your mind. Great movie. Simply done. Is what it was. Then we're talking about Paul Newman possibly at his best in The Verdict. Go watch it. Go check it out. It is what it was. And then, actually, for my 5th spot, some call it 81. It was released in 82 here. I don't give a shit. Anyway, Das Boot. Yes, a foreign flick. Yep, about a bunch of German soldiers flying around a submarine underneath the ocean. Well, you don't really fly around under the ocean. You just kind of cruise around. It is what it is. But a great movie. Terrifying movie. Well done movie. Perfect movie. I actually think it was the best of everything I just listed, but it is what it was. And of course, there's other great dramas that year. We're talking about stuff like Death Trap, which gets criminally overlooked, but it had Michael Caine in it and Christopher Reeve. Should be checked out. Honky Tonk Man with Clint Eastwood himself. It was Daryl Hannah in this little flick called Summer Lovers. It was kind of cool, kind of under the radar, but it was out there. You had The Border with Nicholson himself. And then you should also check out The Year of Living Dangerously with the Gibsonator. It's just the way it goes. Good flick. Actually had Sigourney Weaver in it too. It's what it was. Great motion picture. Go watch it. Go check it out. Anyway, this was just meant to be really fast and really short and give you just an overview of some. I didn't even touch all the stuff that came out that year. We would be here for an hour and a half. But just to give you some of the great motion pictures that came out in 1982, what I like to call the year of perfection. There's been other great years in motion pictures, folks, but none of them all dropped in one point and one time like this. Blade Runner, The Thing, Conan, Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. They just kept hammering you over the head with hit after hit after hit, and then you get E.T. and Poltergeist to boot it off. It just doesn't get any better than that. So, everybody, anyway, go watch some of those motion pictures. Let me know what you think. If you've seen them, let me know what you think. Doesn't make a difference. Either way, be good. Take care. Stay out of trouble. Be kind to a stranger. Always help a friend. But above all else, never, under any circumstances, for any reason, ever take any bullshit from anybody. See you soon.